Hey guys, so welcome back. This situation is absolutely fucking crazy. Wow, one of the most beloved soundtracks in gaming is now being travestized. It's being absolutely fucking destroyed. No, in all seriousness, I went into this with a very simple process. I hadn't listened to the original soundtrack for a while, so when I had this new soundtrack, I would be able to tell which soundtrack was being referenced. How did I do this exactly? Well, because of how memorable it is. Not listening to it for a while gave me a perspective on whether it was truly good or not, and whether the people attacking the people who had opinions on the video feels the same way. So, let me show you something quickly. I mean, you're not looking at the screen, but you can look at the comments on the video. Paranoia Shelter, off, original soundtrack. Now, there is a mistake in the drum pattern. Where is it? Where's the mistake? Yeah, about 1 minute and 30 seconds into the thing, the Amen break sample in the thing cuts out. That's really annoying. It's not fair either. I mean, come on. What's the why? Why would that happen? Anyway, with that said, there are people attacking people for having an opinion, which is something that happens a lot in gaming in general. And I know this is supposed to be a generally nicer comment section than the Undertale fandom when it first released, and that's fine. But I read the interview, I read all the shit, I read all of it. And I think it might be a bit too pricey for my taste, so I'll stick to the original, but whatever. Anyway, back on topic. We are glazing the fuck out of these songs. Alright? We are glazing and hating too much. That's just how it is, guys. Both sides are wrong. Alright? And I know this because I composed music, well, composed is the wrong word, since November 2018. And I would be a lot more experienced than I was if I had actually the tools from the beginning. I mean, I started out with a Windows 7 computer, so that tells you how good I was. And I quit kind of in the last year. Anyway, enough of that. We have a problem here, and that's some people not understanding the other people at me. Right, so here it goes. Unreasonable behaviour sounds so much better than this massive downgrade. Miserable YouTube fellas win literally anything. Two cakes, buddy. They're both good. And I'm like, no. Unreasonable behaviour is factually better than this. Right? Now, I'm going to explain why. So, I know you can never truly replace the original soundtrack, and that's not what they're trying to do. However, you can still put your absolute best effort to find the best composers and whatever, or best land layout, or geometry layout things to really set the game as if it's an actual reprisal of what once. And if you're using composers that are not necessarily as experienced as other people, that's fine. But you have to make sure they at least know how to capture the original vibe of the original song. So the main melody, dissonant piano chords, possibly FL keys, because I've been able to create that exact sound using FL keys, which if he is using that, that's really embarrassing because those are notoriously shit. Yeah, very dissonant sound. I'm going to play it right now so I can really analyze it as it goes. Okay, so it starts off with this kind of siren thing, and then dissonant chords start. Obviously, that's based off the Felix thing. Where does it say it? In case everyone's futures, the original Kyla Bad with Felix on the Spancake page. Yeah. Reality Conundrum, where reasons cry, shelter no more. Yeah. Right. So he does miss his supposed friend, and that's fine, you know? If this is a tribute to a fallen friend, great. It shouldn't be in the official fucking game, you prick! No, I don't mean that. What I'm trying to say is that I don't really know how to explain this as well so that I can explain it. But the problem is that you're essentially putting fan content in the original game. Do you know what happens when you do that? You know what happens when you do that. You get Undertale fan games and shit like that. I know this is nowhere near as bad, right? And this could be an excellent, this could be excellently well done. So much better than it has been done so far. And I do have appreciation for it. That's why I replied to him. I said, oh, is this unreasonable behavior? Because a lot of people in the comments were saying this is unreasonable behavior with absolutely no confirmation. And I did check the interview. Yes, I've checked several things. If it's there, then wow, I'm blind. But I don't think it is. I think on this occasion, we have made an assumption, and it could be correct, yes, based on the general structure of the song. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a minute, because I don't feel like he's made the right decision. Anyway, we have the drum break in the background. This is a good drum break. It's like it might be a pre-made sample, I can't tell, but it is very bit crushed. Then we have a reverbed choir, which is in the original, however, it's a lot louder in the original. And I really don't feel like it adds, because it's like... So we have three things happening here, right? Okay, we have the dissonant chords and piano. That's fine. That sounds really interesting. That could sound really intriguing if it was slowed down and had a bass line going underneath and had a hard drum break instead of this kind of EQ'd light thing going on. But no, we have the dissonant piano key thing. You have the choir, and then the siren thing, and then this weird light drum break. It's fine. It definitely doesn't do what the original does in any case whatsoever. And it's not fair to even compare them, because like I said, if you have to replace it, you need to at least have someone who will try their best and not fumble this. Because, you know, it's really not fair how people are really just going at anyone who has a different opinion. Yes, it is a good song, but not a good song for what it's supposed to be for. I appreciate the effort being put in here, I really do, and people are gonna mistake my opinion for hating as well, and that's fine. But, yeah. Anyway, let's keep playing. So then it goes back into the siren chords and drum break in the background, right? Now we're coming back on, we're coming to an important bit, guys. This is hilarious. Boom! Aim and break fades in. It sounds really cool, but there's still no bass line. And then the fucking mistake. There is a fucking mistake in the bass line. And do you know what I'll do? I will listen to the original. Just to prove how much better it is. Right, immediately, reverbed piano, 2 notes, immediately a catchy tune, not dissonant chords. And then we have this actual metallic drum bass, which is what we know the signature style of Off to be. Then we have this and another drum break added on top of that drum bass, and it's hard. It sounds cool. Then we have the bass, which I believe is another piano. We have the dissonant chords now, but it actually works because we have two different drum breaks. One which is a kind of layer, and two with the actual yeah. Then we have the choir bit. You see, in the new version, it doesn't have a break where it goes into this quiet moment. It just loops the same thing over and over and over. And then it tries to compensate with a tiny bit of amen break at the end. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, Night Margin, or whatever your name is. This actually builds up into something that we can recognize. If I have to ask what song it's supposed to replace, and then I have to go into the original to check if it actually is that one, and if I'm still not sure afterwards, that shows you how badly you've done. Okay? And it's still another pattern. Reverb, piano, drum break in the background, automated reverb. It sounds a bit like Burned Bodies as well. Maybe the same piano actually, never mind. And then the chords to fade it out. That gets me hype, okay? Well, hopefully you will slow the whole thing down, cut off a bit so it still remains the same length, and then add more drums, add more bass line. And that's all I can ask you, there's not much else to improve on.